Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So today I wanted to talk about Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, which is the upcoming Dragon Ball game that we're really looking forward to. A lot of people are anticipating this game. It is the next installment of the Tenkaichi series, obviously Budokai Tenkaichi 3 being the last major one, and I'd go as far as to say it's a legendary fighting game amongst anime fans, and even people that are not necessarily invested in the anime. A lot of people got invested in this game, and it goes without saying that I am super excited about this game, but I am worried about it just because of the practices we've seen with other fighting games, and they're actually worse with anime games. Now, one of the big reasons why I'm worried about this game is that if you look at anime games recently, Demon Slayer, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm for example, Demon Slayer launched without the ability to spectate a friend's match. So say for example you enter the lobby, I believe when the game came out you could only have one-on-ones, you couldn't have multiple people in the lobby, or it was that you could have multiple people in the lobby but you couldn't spectate their matches, and so you were just left sitting there, which is really bad when you're trying to do tournaments or you're trying to record footage. It just sucks the fun out of it because obviously you want to see your friends playing, you want your friends to be able to see you playing, and it's just not a good experience. And then you move over to Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm didn't even launch with friend lobbies, which is an insane thing to say for a new fighting game. Now Ninja Storm had a whole host of problems, not least of all it being a lazy 5th installment to the series. I know they called it Connections, it's just meant to be an updated version of 4, but after all this time and the popularity of the Ninja Storm series, you'd think they'd put out something better. But honestly, it's not worth buying. I'd recommend it to absolutely nobody. Don't give them your money. If they're going to put out Naruto games like that, they don't deserve our money. So this brings me to Sparking Zero. Now from what we've seen from Sparking Zero, visually it looks amazing. The gameplay looks very fluid. I'm still very excited for this game. I am more than likely going to purchase it, almost definitely going to purchase it. However, I am here to bring you some concerning news. As I always say on this channel, as much as we might like certain games, we need to point out when things are not right. And from what I'm reading on Shonen Games, which is over on Twitter, you can follow them on Twitter at Shonen Games with a Z on the end, they've posted quite a bit of concerning information. Now, I don't know how true this information is. Shonen Games is a well-respected source within the anime gaming scene as far as I'm aware, and so when I read this, I started frowning immediately. Perfect Legend was actually the one that brought it to my attention. I found this and then tagged him in it, and he was like, yeah, this sucks. So I'll go ahead and read to you what is going on and what me and Perfect Legend were discussing, and then you guys let me know what you think, and I'll give you my thoughts on what I think is going on here. So it says, if true, what's being said about Sparking Zero's split screen, characters, story mode and more. The team is open to criticism and consists of enthusiasts, with Jun Furutani himself being a big fan. The local split screen mode will ultimately not be available, not due to the developers, but because of issues related to Sony and Microsoft making split screen adaptation complicated. They are trying to find a solution, but for now there won't be split screen, possibly due to Sony and Microsoft policies favoring the sale of more consoles. This wouldn't be the first time such a situation has occurred. The situation may still evolve, with the team being aware of the demand. Developers mentioned that adapting games to the Xbox Series S is particularly challenging. Characters from Dragon Ball GT will be included, possibly in the base roster or as DLC. The game will also include fusions Gogeta, Vegito and Gotenks. There is no precise release date at the moment. The team is working on the game and wants to avoid rushing to release an incomplete game. They are taking their time, considering a release in late 2024 or 2025. A complete story mode will be present following and evolving from Tenkaichi 3. Graphics have been improved, and compared to the trailers already seen, the graphics team even better has addressed criticisms regarding hair, for example. Outfits can deteriorate during fights, and fights are designed to be longer than old ones. The game's cover art is already ready and follows the style of the old drawings, potentially those of Nakatsuru. Several other trailers will be released in the coming months, each showcasing new features. Characters from Dragon Ball movies will be included, possibly up to Gohan Beast. Special effort is being put into background for a better immersion, as the human eye is more receptive to immersion through backgrounds. The team is very attentive to the community on Twitter and through emails to improve the game with feedback. Ryo Mito himself has asked to gather feedback from around the world. Constructive feedback is particularly appreciated. Now, I want to start on a positive note. A lot of the information there is really cool. It's nice to know they're paying attention to criticism, that they're willing to be open to it. We know some developers are not very receptive to criticism of their game. game, a lot of people see criticism as you just being negative. So as I said, I am very, very high on this game. Visually, it looks absolutely stunning. The gameplay looks like it matches the visuals. It looks like a very explosive, high-octane game. I think it's really cool that they're still fine-tuning the graphics because it already looks fantastic. If it released in the fashion it was shown in the trailers, I would not be mad, not by any stretch of the imagination. So to know they're improving that is really, really cool. Got no problem with DLC characters. There are a lot of Dragon Ball characters. There's no way they're going to get every single character in the game, or we're going to be waiting a lifetime for it. So I've got no problem with DLC characters. Obviously microtransactions in other areas can cause problems, but I don't want to speculate because there's nothing on here, so we won't go off that yet. I think that a complete story mode is going to be really, really cool. I don't know if they're going to redo the entire Dragon Ball story again, or if it's going to be an original thing. Maybe it'll be closer to Xenoverse, seeing as Xenoverse was very, very successful. Either way, it's been a very long time since I've played through a Dragon Ball story mode because I didn't actually get all the way through Kakarot. So I would be open to this, but I'd also be open to an original story. I don't mind either way. That's less of a concern for me because I'm looking more at competing with this game in terms of making YouTube content, competing against other people that are going to be excited to play it. Knowing that the outfits can deteriorate, again, fantastic attention to detail. You love to see those things in Dragon Ball games. It's cool to hear that the cover art is going to be closer to the original drawings of Dragon Ball, just because a lot of us prefer early Dragon Ball rather than new Dragon Ball in terms of art style. Although Dragon Ball Super did a fantastic job in the Tournament of Power by bringing in some older artists, so you can definitely see when some particular artists have taken over. Most notably when Vegeta was fighting Jiren and hit him with the final flash. I thought the art style on that particular scene was really good, but the Tournament of Power overall was really cool. Going up to the Beast Gohan film, again, very good. I can imagine they're going to go beyond that if this game is successful, so hopefully they give us what we want. And the fact that they're putting special effort into the backgrounds and just being very attentive overall is really cool. Now that we've got the positive things out the way, because I think it's, you know, it's good to point out the positives. I think just playing a game kind of shows that you lean more to the positive. We point it out just in case people take it the wrong way. Now I want to focus in on the negative thing here, and this is a really big negative. This negative overshadows a lot of the positive, unfortunately, in my opinion, and that is the complications around split screen. Now I don't know how true this information is, and I don't know who's blocking it, if someone is blocking it. I don't know if it's the developers just leaving it out. I don't know if it's true that Sony and Microsoft are doing this. Either way, leaving out split screen is a massive deal. Now for those of you that didn't grow up playing the Tenkaichi series, what happens is when you play 2-player local offline, the screen splits because the stages are huge, and so you both have your own side to look at. And it sounds weird for a fighting game, but it actually works incredibly well. This mode is so important to the Tenkaichi series. Now first of all, a lot of you might be saying, well, you know, it's just an anime game, it's not going to be competitive, it's not a massive deal. That couldn't be further from the truth. I want to redirect you now to one of my personal favorite YouTubers. He might not be somebody that really well known yet, although I would like to draw attention to their channel, and that individual is called Paige. Now Paige, in my opinion, is the best Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 player I have ever seen in my life. Now I just want to shine some light on this channel. It has grown since I last watched it actually. It's almost on 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys love Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and you want to see it played at the absolute highest level, to the point that I thought I was good at Tenkaichi 3 until I saw this guy playing the game. And Paige, if you're out there and you somehow see this video, please train me. I would love to learn from you because I did not know that Tenkaichi 3 could play like this.
You should see the look on your face right now. How would you feel if I told you there's another like me? Huh? His name is Drugs. He too is a true Super Saiyan. He's not quite as strong as I am, but it would be hard to tell the difference between us.
I thought I was good at the game. I used to beat my friends quite often. I'd go to tournaments for this game, like local ones, and I did quite well at them. I didn't know the game could be played like this. So split screen in this game is going to be really important if it plays anything like Tenkaichi 3, because Tenkaichi 3 can actually be played at a very competitive level. There's a lot of systems in the game that are very difficult to use effectively, and if they're bringing them back in the same fashion that they had them in Tenkaichi 3, it's going to be very interesting. I would go as far as to say that that not only is this game harder than most of the fighting games we have on the market now, but it's more engaging. And I'm showing some of this background footage of Tenkaichi 3 here. I hope Paige doesn't mind, just so you can see how good this game was and how important split screen is. Now, one of the reasons that I think split screen has been left off is because I think they know that this game is going to be hugely successful, like massively successful. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I still won't buy it if they leave split screen off. I will buy it because Tenkaichi is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. I'd go as far as to say it's in my top 3. So I'm going to buy it, and I think they know that the Dragon Ball franchise carries massive weight and that people are really excited for this game. And what happens if you remove split screen? It means that your friend can no longer come over and play with you and they're forced to buy it. Back when I was playing it, I had a few friends that never owned Tenkaichi 3, and even now Tenkaichi 3 is a hard game to come across. If you look up online, it's worth over £100, and so not all of them had a Tenkaichi copy, and so they would come to my house and play it. And it was really fun to just sit down and play Tenkaichi with the boys, play it away from the online world, actually sit there with some pizza and enjoy some Tenkaichi. And I think they're going to ruin a really special experience, especially for new players. A lot of the time new people just play online, but I'm telling you guys, get together with your boys or your girls, if the girls are playing this, I don't know, and just sit down and play some Tenkaichi together, get some drinks, get some pizza or whatever it is that you're into, and it's just a good time. It's a fantastic game, it is so much fun, and I really hope that corporate greed is not what is keeping this game from having a split screen, because I do think it's super important that this game has one. It remains to be seen if this information is completely true, although based on what I've seen on Twitter with regards to the developers, it does look like they're paying a lot of attention to what is going on. So if we're to believe the good things in this piece from Shonen Games, then are we to believe the bad thing, which is the lack of split screen? And I'd be inclined to say yes. The reason I want to make this video is that I do think Sparking Zero is going to be a massive release. I do think it could be good for the FGC. Again, as funny as that might be to say, because arena fighters have not been well received in recent memory, Tenkaichi stands on its own as quite possibly the greatest anime fighting game that was ever created. And if that's the magic that they're looking to recapture with the new one, then it's going to be a massive shame if we don't get a split screen. A humongous shame, especially because they're saying that this is meant to capture the essence of the old Tenkaichi games whilst adding to the mechanics and putting a new spin on it, and obviously getting the new characters in there. We've already seen the newer version of Broly, we've seen scans of Beerus, we know that there's going to be characters from the Tournament of Power in the game, and it just sounds like everything is exactly as we would want it, both visually and gameplay wise, and it really sucks to hear that the split screen may not be in the game. So I'm going to keep my eye on what's going on here. Again, if you haven't seen Paige's YouTube channel, go and check Paige out if you're into Dragon Ball Z fighting games. He's honestly the most amazing Tenkaichi 3 player I've ever seen. There's so many videos on his page where there's tech that I just never would have known about. Parries, dodging, flight cancels, specific cancels on specific characters, back turn combos, vanishing combos, the way he uses his ki, meter management. Very nuanced and complex, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I still watch his gameplay footage all the time. It's been maybe a month or so since I last checked, but his channel's growing, and hopefully we can get some more attention on him, because I think he'll be a key player in the upcoming Dragon Ball game if it is anything like Tenkaichi 3. Although with that said, with the dumbing down of fighting games these days, I wouldn't hold your breath. But let's not be a negative Nancy, you know, maybe this is going to be a breakout. We'll wait and we'll see. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Was split screen important for you when you were playing Tenkaichi, or do you just not care about it? Have a good day guys, take care and peace.